Hi, welcome to another video on my channel, and if you're new to the channel, you're in the right place, and please subscribe to the channel so that you can know when I upload new video and new content, right? And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back, and please subscribe if you have not yet done so, and feel free to share the video. Also leave your comments, questions, and anything that relates to these videos that I'm doing. Right, so for this video we are going to look at composite functions, right? And throughout we will actually cover a few objectives, 4 here, right? So we'll be looking at how to find the inverse of a linear function, find the inverse of a rational function, evaluate expressions involving composite functions, and calculate numerical values involving composite functions. Right, so the first two have to do with inverse, but I want to cover them into this composite video series that I'm doing. So let's move into this. So let me start with let me start with the inverse part first, right, before I move into the composite part. Alright, so the first question asks us to find the inverse of the function below. Let me take this off. Right, so find the inverse of the function below, and to the right I have a table that outlines the steps that we use to find the inverse of a linear function in this case. So we have our gradient, we have our x, and we also have the y-intercept. So this is a linear function. Let's move into this. So step 1, so we have step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. Step 1, you will actually replace fx with y. It's as simple as that. So the first thing you do is replace fx with y. So this is fx out here, so you're just gonna write y equal 2x minus 5. So the only thing you changed was fx to y, and that covers step 1, right? And moving on to step 2 now. Switch x and y. So to switch them around. So wherever y is, you're going to put x, and wherever x is, you're going to put y. So this will be x equal 2y minus 5. Step 2 is out of the way. Step 3 now asks to solve for the new y. Just solve for y, this y right here. So to solve for y, we have to have y equal to something, and if we carry out the operation the right way, then we would have no problem here. And I have videos on the channel on how to solve these problems, so please feel free to find those videos and go through them as it relates to solving for a particular variable. So in this case, we need to get y by itself. So we're gonna have, let me put x right here and leave a space, equal 2y minus 5. So in order to get y by itself, we have to move minus 5 and also 2. But let's move the minus 5 first. So since we are subtracting 5, we have to add 5 to get rid of that 5. But whatever you do to one side, have to do it to the other side as well. Right? So minus 5 plus 5 will give you 0, so that disappears. And so we're left with x plus 5 equal 2y. But let's switch this around and write 2y equal x plus 5. So we are one step closer to solving for y. So we need to get rid of the 2 now, right? And if you notice, I carried out the opposite operation up here to get rid of the 5. I was subtracting, then I added 5 to get rid of 5. But right here, 2 is multiplying y. So to get rid of 2, I'll have to divide by 2, which is the opposite. Whatever I do to one side, I do it to the next side. So these 2's will cancel. So I am left with y equal x plus 5 over 2. Right, so we solve for y. So this step was covered as well. And step 4 now, final step, replace y with f inverse x. Only thing that you're going to do. So replace the y with f inverse x. Right, this is equal to x plus 5 over 2. So this is the inverse of the function, right? That's the inverse for that function. So once you follow the steps, you shouldn't have much challenge with solving these kind of problems. So let's move on to our next one now. Same procedure. So let's move through the steps. Step 1. Replace fx with y. This is fx, y equal negative 2x plus 4. So this step has been taken care of. Step 2. Switch x and y. So when you switch something, you put one in the other space that the previous one was and put that one in this space. So this would be x equal minus 2y plus 4. So we switch them around. So this step is covered as well. Step 3 now, everything remains the same as the previous example, where we now need to solve for y. To solve for y, we need to get rid of this positive 4 and also get rid of minus 2 to have y by itself. So let us move into that now. X, leave a space, equal minus 2y plus 4. Now how can we get rid of that 4? We can subtract 4. But whatever you do to one side, do it to the other side as well. You subtract 4. So these will turn to 0. So we are now left with x minus 4 equal negative 2y. And we can write that in reverse order, as in we can write this as negative 2y equal x minus 4. So we are one step closer now because we get rid of our 4. How can we get rid of the negative 2? Again, we carry out the opposite operation. So negative 2 is multiplying y in this part. So if it's multiplying and you need to get rid of that 2, you're going to divide by negative 2. So you divide by this number, whether negative or positive, you divide by the number that you want to get rid of. And whatever you do to one side, do it to the other side as well. So you divide this side by negative 2. These negative 2's will cancel. So this leaves us with y equal x minus 4 over negative 2. So this step has been achieved. Step 4, replace y with f inverse x. So with all we do, replace the y, f inverse x equal x minus 4 over minus 2. And this is our answer. This actually represents the inverse, right? The minus 1 thing there. So this is the inverse for this function. So straightforward. Once you follow the steps, then you will have minimal issues to solve these. Remember, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and also share the channel link so others can benefit as well. So these are for linear functions. Now let's move on to rational functions now, where we have a numerator and a denominator. Rational from the word ratio. Rational numbers are what? Numbers that can be written as a fraction. So in this case, rational functions are fractional functions. So we have x plus 1 divided by 2x minus 3. Right? So we're going to carry out the same procedure now. Step 1, replace fx with y. So we have y equal x plus 1 over 2x minus 3. Achieved. Step 2, switch x and y. So we switch them around. X equal y plus 1 over 2y minus 3. This has been achieved. So step 3 now, we're going to solve for y. Right? So this x can be put over a 1 like this. And we normally carry out what is called a cross multiplication, where we do something like this, then we multiply across the equal sign. So this will give us x multiplied by 2y minus 3 equal 1 multiplied by y times y plus 1. So let me put this so you can see it. Good. And once you see things like this, we have brackets with terms in it and also a term on the outside. So we're going to carry out what is called the distributive property, where we use x to multiply each term inside the bracket. So x times 2y would give us 2xy minus x times 3 would give us 3x equal 1 times that will give you y plus 1. So we are moving closer now. The next thing we need to do is to get y on one side. We need to isolate y. So in this case, we're going to think of how we can get negative 3x to move to that side and the y to move to this side. Alright, so let's carry out something like this now. So this would give us 2xy minus y, and we have a minus y because it was positive over this side. So when it crosses the equal sign, it changes to minus, equal 3x plus 1. So this negative 3x will return to a positive 3x because it crosses the equal sign. So we have all the y's on one side now. Moving to the next step, you need to factor out the y. So we need to factorize this. So we have y outside 2x, because 2x multiplied by y will give you back 2xy minus 1, because y times 1 will give you back y, equal 3x plus 1. We are closer now. So how can we get y by itself here? Remember, the y is multiplying 2x minus 1. So you divide. So we're going to divide by what we don't want. So you divide by 2x minus 1. Whatever you do to one side, do it to the next side. Minus 1. So these will cancel. And that leaves us with y equal 3x plus 1 over 2x minus 1. Achieved because we solved for y. And step 4 now says replace y with fx. Right? Implies replace y with f inverse x. Sorry, inverse x will equal to 3x plus 1 over 2x minus 1. Right? So this is the inverse of this function. So thank you very much for sitting in and watching this video. If it is creating any form of value to you, if it's helping you to understand this topic better, please subscribe to the channel, share the video link, comment, and also feel free to interact with what is happening here. Remember, on this channel it's strictly about mathematical concepts, right from basics straight up to scratch, especially for the CXC. So please share this video with as many persons as possible and students across various high schools. Thank you.